Hey guys! So this will be the third part of my History Channel Battle for the Pacific walkthrough, which will cover the first of two Guadalcanal missions. The Battle of Guadalcanal was actually the first major offensive by the Americans against the Japanese. It resulted in an American victory. I remember from playing some of the old Medal of Honor games that some of the Pacific Island natives actually assisted you in this battle. They don't in this game, but I think that would have been pretty cool to see.
Of course it won't be easy, soldier. Understood? Enemy contact!
And let the battle begin. As you can see here, I like switching weapons when I empty my clips, as it's much faster than reloading. I recommend using this strategy when facing a lot of enemies at once. Just be sure to reload all your weapons when you're done. I also like to switch the M1 Garand for the Type 100. Because it's so easy to acquire new ammo for, I keep the Type 100 in my first gun slot, with the Thompson submachine gun in slot 2, as the Thompson is a great weapon to switch to if your Type 100 runs out of ammo. In the PC version of the game, whichever gun slot each weapon is in doesn't really matter as much, because you can switch directly to your primary weapon from your secondary weapon. For the console version though, I like having the Type 100 in slot 1. There's some halfway decent jungle graphics for this mission. You get ambushed from behind here, so be prepared. Your squad mates can take care of the enemies pretty easily though. A bit too easily in my opinion.
Cover me!
Great place to use a grenade here. Feel free to use your grenades pretty liberally in this mission, as you have 10, which I believe is more than enough. Another big batch of enemies.
Come on, we gotta go!
The machine gun nests here can be pretty dangerous, so approach with caution. I'm going to toss a grenade over these sandbags right here to get rid of some enemies.
Take these charges and attach them to the cannons. We can't leave them intact or they'll tear our boys to shreds. Do it before they send reinforcements.
Enemies will spawn as you walk closer to the artillery pieces. Be careful because they can easily catch you off guard.
I'm gonna send you home in a box.
Now set the charges.
The airfield is close. We gotta hurry.
Now we're headed to Henderson Field. Henderson Field was originally built by the Japanese before being captured by the Americans. The battle for Henderson Field was one of the great battles of the Pacific War. The Japanese would later make several attempts to recapture the airfield, but they weren't successful. That guy took a thud. There's a lot of enemies in this area. I like stepping on this little hill right here to get a better view of two of the enemies. A couple enemies in the stream. This right here is another dangerous area. There are about 4 or 5 enemies hiding behind this brush. The brush can make it hard to see them, which is pretty dangerous when there are so many of them. These dead trees can make for some nice cover though. Clearing out the survivors. Now coming up on Henderson Field, which is the last stretch of the mission. Henderson Field was actually named after U.S. Marine Corps Major Lofton Henderson. He was a pilot who was killed in the Battle of Midway.
You will
Great place to let these enemies run right into a grenade. That was a pretty unrealistic looking blast. Notice how I used the tree stump ahead as cover against the enemies in the distance. Here you have to shoot down enemy planes with the AA gun, similar to how you did in the first mission. I actually noticed the hitbox is actually slightly above the dot of the aiming reticle, so I tried to align the reticle slightly below my target. There's 4 planes in total, and you have to shoot all of them down. Sometimes you actually have to jump off the AA gun to avoid enemy fire. It seems like you take a lot of hits right after the plane goes up in smoke. One more plane. After taking out the last plane, there's one more wave of enemy soldiers by the hangar. This is a great place to spam all your remaining grenades.
Follow my lead.
No enemy soldiers in sight. What now?
Secure the area and call for reinforcements. They'll be back.
Who died and made you CO?
The CEO did die. And that's
That was
why
an
you're
incredibly
gonna
lame joke.
secure the area.
Well, anyway, hope you guys tune in for part 4 of my walkthrough, which picks up right where this mission leaves off.